This is an article that I wrote a long time ago for the Journal of the California Alliance for the Mentally Ill, Remembering Kate, a Story of Hope. And there's my mother's picture. I came from a family where my mother was gone for 8 years when I was growing up, and because of really severe mental health issues, I felt like I was in the same trajectory as my mother, and that was of real concern to me. I had asked my doctor, how do people with these kinds of issues cope? And he said, we don't have information on that kind of thing. We have information on hospitalizations and programs and medications. We don't have that kind of information. I realized then that the doctors can't fix me. I'm going to have to fix myself. These are the original studies. And I said, I really want to do a study of how people who experience these kinds of issues cope. Oh my, look at this. What does it feel like to be depressed? What signs indicate that you are getting depressed? The people who supposedly knew more about research told me that I should be just having these ask a question and then have the numbers and people rate things, and I just didn't even know the questions to ask, and I just knew that wouldn't work for me. I had open-ended questions like, how do you get support? What kinds of things do you do for yourself when you're starting to feel really sad all the time? I just thought that this was really powerful information, and the people said, nobody has ever asked us these questions before. Nobody has ever wanted to find this out from us. We had our first workshops at a challenging time because it was the middle of winter. And my purpose in getting together with them was to lead them through a number of strategies for dealing with their mental health issues. And so we spent 8 days doing that, 8 full days. A woman stood up and said, this is all great, this is all good information, but I've been in mental hospitals all across the country and I wouldn't have any idea how to incorporate it into my own life. And so that was really the challenge. We spoke about this challenge, and people said we need a plan. We need something that's going to allow us to organize all that we know so that we can put it to work in our lives. We finished our process, and we had the plan, and I took it home on that last day, pulled out a notebook, and I wrote my RAP plan. I wrote my first RAP plan, and I started using it, and I knew very soon that this was going to make a huge difference in my own life. And if it was going to make a huge difference in my own life, so simply, then it's going to make a big difference in a lot of people's lives. I was asked at that time to speak at various conferences, and I went to a conference and I walked the audience through RAP, and they sat there spellbound, and at the end came up to me and said, nobody ever told us before anything that we could do to help ourselves. And that was the beginning, really, of me becoming aware that I needed to spread this, that I needed to share this on a broad basis. And that's when I began to think about writing the book. The key thing in all of my writing is to make it really readable and usable. We're using language that's easily understood and that it's very easy to follow. The main reason that RAP has been so powerful and successful is because it was developed by people who actually experience mental health issues. Everything is ours that's in it, and we can adjust it in any way that we find works better for us, and it's a very different approach. And as I look through these pictures and I see so many people who have been part of the movement to make that happen. And I need to think about how far we've come along, how much better off we are now than we were back then. Back in the late 1980s, when they told me that there was no hope for me, I said, wait a minute, my mother got out of that place. She went on and had a rich and successful life. That gave me the inspiration to say, if my mother could do it, and I could do it.